You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Wednesday the 29th of April, 2026. It is 40 days after the spring equinox. It is 53 days before the summer solstice. Today, King Charles will be visiting New York City. We extend our greetings to the King and Queen Camilla. In today's episode, a sad elm tree, Roget's Thesaurus, the Golden Gate Bridge, the Whitestone Bridge, a Holocaust remembrance, a kiss-in, Duke Ellington, and Jerry Seinfeld. The sun rises today at 5:57 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 1:53 p.m. The sun sets today at 7:50 p.m., civil twilight ends at 8:20 p.m., and nautical twilight ends at 8:56 p.m. The length of daytime today is 2 minutes, 22 seconds longer than yesterday. The moon is in its waxing gibbous phase and is 96% full at midday. The moon sets today at 4:40 a.m., and then it rises again at 6:08 p.m. These are the predicted tides today for Horn's Hook. In the wee hours, low tide, 4:35 a.m., 18 centimeters. In the morning, high tide, 10:38 a.m., 1 meter 46. In the afternoon, low tide, 3:30 p.m., 24 centimeters. At night, high tide, 10:26 p.m., 1 meter 68. In our shared realm of plants and animals, we have been keeping our eye on an elm tree in the neighborhood that seems to be very slowly dying. It stands in a grove with other trees, and perhaps it is being slowly crowded out by its larger and lusher neighbors. Its trunk is about a foot in diameter, so it's been there for some time, but it's not an old tree. It's put out leaves on some of its branches this year, but they are rather sparse. Examining the trunk, you can see it weeps liquid from 2 wounds where branches were trimmed off. Not a good sign. This could be a case of slime flux, a bacterial infection that causes parts of the inner sapwood and outer heartwood to rot. The sap ferments and oozes out. An otherwise healthy tree can often overcome such an infection, but it looks like this one may succumb. A sad sight. Commemorations. On this day in 1852, the first edition of Peter Roget's Thesaurus was published in Great Britain. The invaluable resource for writers has been in print ever since, suggesting lists of synonyms and antonyms. So perhaps we shouldn't say published. Maybe it was issued, or put out, or released, or made manifest. On this day in 1937, the completion of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco was marked by the driving of a symbolic golden rivet. After the ceremony, it was removed and replaced with a proper steel rivet that would actually hold the bridge up. Exactly 2 years later, in 1939, the Whitestone Bridge between the Bronx and Queens opened to traffic just in time for the World's Fair. A solemn anniversary. On this day in 1945, the Dachau concentration camp was liberated by the 42nd and 45th Infantry Divisions and the 20th Armored Division of the United States Army. 32,000 prisoners were freed. On this day in 1988, the protest group ACT UP staged a kiss-in on Christopher Street to defy homophobia and the stigma around AIDS. It was cold and raining hard, but 1,000 protesters marched with umbrellas and pink balloons. At Sheridan Square, they began making out in the street, a bit of queer love beating back bigotry. Today we remember Duke Ellington, born this day in 1899. One of the great jazz musicians and composers of all time, he began his career in New York, and his band was actually the house band at the Cotton Club from 1927 to 1931. Incredibly prolific, he wrote many songs that have become standards. With more than 1,000 recorded compositions, he produced the largest recorded personal jazz legacy in history. He once said this: "Jazz is the only unhampered, unhindered expression of complete freedom yet produced in this country." Remember Duke Ellington today. And we wish a happy birthday to Jerry Seinfeld, born this day in 1954 in Brooklyn. He was raised in Massapequa and went to Queens College. We're grateful for the way he has expressed such a deeply New York sensibility in his stand-up comedy and his television series. He's also a Mets fan, which makes us love him all the more. Happy birthday, Jerry Seinfeld. Finally, tomorrow is Poem in Your Pocket Day. It's the culmination of Poetry Month, and we're invited to choose a poem and carry it in our pocket all day to share with fellow poetry lovers. We announce it here the day before to give you time to choose your poem for the day. Happy Poem in Your Pocket Day to all. And that is the Observatory, Wednesday the 29th of April, 2026.